Well, Parker, I got to ask you about something that occurred at a recent Red Sox game, an
Hmm.
ejection that involved Walker Buehler and Alex Cora. Admittingly, I heard about it. I have not seen any footage. I'm coming into this completely blind. So tell me what the hell happened.
All right, so a little bit of backstory on the whole thing. Walker Buehler, he's been down for his last 2 or 3 starts. He was on the 15-day IL. He had some shoulder stuff going on, bursitis. Made his comeback, made a couple of rehab starts, and finally made his comeback against the Mets on, was it Monday? On Tuesday. Now, he was 2 1/3 innings in. Francisco Lindor gets on. He steals second. On the pitch was basically right down the middle. I don't have that queued up, but you'll see here in a second. The pitch was almost right down the middle. I believe it's in the clip I'm about to show you. But regardless, Mike Estabrook, who is the home plate umpire, called it a ball. Buehler didn't really get the call as the play, like the action of the stolen base was happening. So then after the call at second base, Buehler looks at the home plate umpire and asks for the count. And Estabrook says it's 0-2. And then Buehler was like, wait, no strikes. Or excuse me, not 0-2. He said it's 2-0. And Buehler said, wait, no strikes. Like, buddy, that was right down the middle. And Estabrook, well, let me just show you the clip. Let me show you exactly what happened. So, in my opinion, Estabrook unnecessarily escalates this situation. Here, let me go back to the beginning so I'm not spoiling anything. Unnecessarily escalates this situation, and it leads to the ejection of the Red Sox starting pitcher less than 3 innings into the game. So here we go. Okay, so I want to ask you something, and I'm going to rewind this video so you can see it. Where is Walker Buehler standing during this brief exchange?
It looked like he was standing on the mound.
Where is he standing?
He's right there on the mound, walking up to the mound.
Okay, so Walker Buehler was immediately ejected following this. And I'm going to keep it on screen so we can see. So he was ejected. He said, buddy, that was right down the middle. I think he led with, buddy, that was right down the fucking middle. Buddy, that was right down the middle. He repeated himself. Mike Estabrook, the reason the camera pans away is because you're watching the ump cam, and Mike Estabrook takes his mask off, walks past the dirt cut on the field, and points at Walker Buehler and says, like, we're not doing this, or whatever the hell he said to him. Walker then goes, like, no, you're not going to talk to me that way. That was right down the middle, and then proceeds to be ejected by Mike Estabrook. We're arguing balls and strikes. Now, I get that. Sure, he said fuck to the umpire, but that's like not totally taboo, especially not for a veteran, a guy Walker Buehler who just won a World Series last year. He's been around for 7 years. He's not new to the game.
Right.
And in an interview after the game, the crew chief, so the way that umpire interviews goes, that the crew chief just addresses the media, if necessary, to a pool reporter. And in that interview, Laz Diaz, the crew chief, says Walker Buehler was arguing balls and strikes, and he left his position to argue balls and strikes, which anytime you leave your position, you're going to be ejected. Walker's standing on the mound. Walker is standing on the mound, and Estabrook walks toward him, removes his mask, points at him, and escalates the situation artificially, and then proceeds to toss the starting pitcher. In my opinion, that's completely out of line. Nobody there. This is Walker's first start back from injury. People bought a ticket to watch him pitch, not to watch the umpire throw somebody out of the game. And like, there's more to the story. Like, there's a lot of people who are like, why is Alex Cora not getting out of the dugout faster? Because normally what happens is either the catcher or the manager will kind of just like get in between the two and get tossed instead of the pitcher. That way somebody pays the price, but the pitcher can continue to pitch and doesn't completely screw the bullpen of the team in question. So because it was a stolen base on the pitch, Alex Cora was looking at his replay analyst, waiting for the, like, let's keep it going, or the, challenge the play. So he didn't notice what was going on until basically Walker was already tossed. Cora comes out, he gets tossed. I'm not really worried about the Cora ejection because at that point he kind of like came out with the intention of getting tossed from the game to make it known like this is unacceptable in my opinion. So there's a lot of layers to this. I personally am just I'm in the like this is a welcome to the ump show moment. Like, why are we tossing the pitcher when he didn't leave the mound? He's allowed to say he doesn't agree with the ball or strike call, and you artificially escalated the situation.
Yeah, I mean, you see this every so often with these umpires, right? I mean, they have those power trip moments, and you never like to see it. It gets kind of annoying. I would love to see that pitch, right? I want to go back and look at what where that previous pitch was. Honestly,
I'm telling you, it was down the dick. Like it was
really.
Really? Oh yeah.
Okay.
I could try to find it.
If
but
that's
yeah,
the
it's
case,
pretty...
I mean, yeah. If that's the case, I get why Walker gets upset. Like you said, throwing F-bombs on the ballpark on the field, not taboo. It happens. It just seems like this is a case of an umpire being a little too sensitive and having a little bit of a power trip and wanting to show Walker who's boss. I think that's what it comes down to.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's pretty interesting to see. Yeah, okay. So the game day, I'm gonna pull this up real quick and show you the game day, like the MLB app also like will show where the pitch was. It's not necessarily down the dick, but it is this is a big league call that you have to make. So let me go ahead and share my window one more time.
This will be interesting. Okay, let's see. Okay, that's not even really a borderline. That's not a borderline, right? You got to make that call.
And regardless of whether it is borderline or not, like Walker has a point. Like he's a vet. He's been around. He knows what a strike looks like. He executed his pitch properly, and has a right to be kind of bent out of shape about it.